Hey guys, Kevin the Comic Doctor coming to you with a pre-recorded CGC unboxing, guys, and tonight it is a doozy. You might recognize my attire from last week. Yes, this is I recorded this right after last week's episode. I had 5 boxes to share with you, and I wasn't about to share 5 full boxes. It takes way too much time, so I'm pre-recording this one for you guys for Tuesday. My regular 8:30 p.m. slot, Eastern Standard Time. Guys, I'm Kevin the Comic Doctor. I'm a comic book presser. I'm also an authorized CGC dealer located way up in Oshawa, Ontario, Canada. And like I said, we are unboxing some amazing CGC books tonight. If you are a comic book fan, if you were into CGC grading or just grading comic books in general, or if you love comic book fandom, you're in the right place. I hope you'll consider subscribing to the channel, liking that content, and sharing that content so more enthusiasts like you will sign up and join in the conversation. Tonight, there's not going to be many conversations with me, but I'm sure my chat will be buzzing as I unload some of these amazing books. Well, today, first off, we're going to start with a huge G.I. Joe order that came in, and this is from a local fella who brought all of his G.I. Joe books from his youth, and he collects G.I. Joe. He's a huge G.I. Joe fan, and in fact, he actually has submitted a bunch of signed books as well. Thing is, when he submitted the book, CGC did not have that authentication service in place. So I took them aside once I heard that CGC was going to be authenticating. And as you know, if you watched last week's episode, and if you're obviously following comic book news, you know that CGC and JSA have joined up together. They've joined teams, and now CGC has started accepting books for the authentication. So I'll be sending those books from this order, the ones I took aside. They've been pressed. Now they're going to head off to be authenticated. They're going to get that nifty gold and black label, which we showcased last week. All right, let's start up. We got a G.I. Joe Real American Hero number 146 and a 9.4. We also have a G.I. Joe number 27 and a 7.5. We have a G.I. Joe, and these are in no particular order. I'm going to make sure there's no cracks on these because one of my boxes was pretty dinged up. This is a G.I. Joe number 153 and a 9.2. And then we have as well a G.I. Joe European Missions number 1. This is an 8.0. Oops, gotta figure that out. Oh, there we go. That's better. We also have a G.I. Joe number 149 and 9.6. And guys, remember, I wasn't whistling Dixie. The thumbnail was not lying. Yeah, I'm going through some modern books here, but don't go anywhere because box number 2, my gosh. Not that nothing wrong with G.I. Joe. Love my G.I. Joes. But the next box are some Silver Age grails from Marvel you are not going to want to miss. And you already saw one of them on my thumbnail. There's a lot more. We've got a real G.I. Joe number 21, the first appearance of Storm Shadow, and it's 6.5. We also have G.I. Joe How to Draw G.I. Joe, official How to Draw number 2, and this is in a 9.6. Running out of room. Soon I will move over. We also have a G.I. Joe number 93 and a 9.0. And I think that's maxed out. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go back to the big screen. I'll show you the comics right here. Okay, we've got a G.I. Joe number 6 and a 9.0. And this is a newsstand. Yeah, newsstand edition right there. Ooh, right there we go. I mean, right there, newsstand edition. You know, I'm going to put them back in the bag and back in the box. That way it'll clear my whole area. How's that? Might slow me down a little bit, but you guys don't mind, right? We also have a G.I. Joe number 152 and a 9.6. Now, I would assume here that we have some different series. I did not collect G.I. Joe, so I am not sure. But I have a feeling we have some different series. This is from 1994. I'll get in there. It says actually, doesn't say volume 2, so I assume this is from the first volume. We also have a G.I. Joe 154 and a 7.5 from 94. Right there. we have a couple of doubles, I think, so do please forgive me. We've got a G.I. Joe 155 and a 9.2 right there. And we have another one right beside it. The other one's in a 9.6 though. 155. I'll just show you this. So we have this one here in a 9.2, and we also have a 9.6. Oh, actually, we've got two 9.6s. Another 9.6 right there. Just gotta make sure there's no cracks on these before I put them away. Remember, I got 14 days. Let CGC know if I discovered any cracks or not. So very important to reveal that. We also have a G.I. Joe number 154 and a 4.0. This one was not as nice a condition, obviously. Now, again, these are from a personal collection. I would imagine some sentimental value to a lot of these books. Some of the grades are not super high. This one here, G.I. Joe number 1. This one here has got the Todd McFarlane swipe from his Spider-Man series, right? Number 1 and a 5.0. I wonder if Todd McFarlane would sign that. I wonder if he would sign that book. I don't know. We also have a G.I. Joe number 146 and an 8.5. I'm kind of backwards here, guys. I do apologize. We also have an early one here. We got a G.I. Joe number 2. We got two number 2s and a 5.5. And the other one is in a 9.4. So we've got a 5.5. And we also have a 9.4. Both direct copies. Make sure there's no cracks on here. Looking good. Another Storm Shadow appearance. Canadian price variant this time. In a 6.0. And if you guys watched my interview with the Canadian price variant gurus, if you haven't watched that video yet, why haven't you? Go check it out. You'll notice that this very book is one of the most popular of all Canadian price variants right here. So it is a very hot book, especially in CPV, especially in a 9.8. And, you know, quadruple signed. We got a G.I. Joe Special Missions number 1 and an 8.5. White pager. And then we have a G.I. Joe number 94 and a 9.4. White pager. You know, you can't do a whole video on G.I. Joe and not have the OG, the number 1. Right here with a newsstand edition of G.I. Joe number 1 and a 7.0. And then we have another newsstand copy. Another newsstand copy in a 9.0 or 8.0 this time, sorry, 8.0. It's got a 7 and an 8. And then last but not least, in my stack of G.I. Joes, I have a copy of G.I. Joe 148, and we did this one already, and that one is an 8.0. So there you go. So a lot of G.I. Joe books, fantastic. Next, I'm going to move on to the box of high-end books, high-end Marvel Silver Age keys, and Bronze Age keys too. Check these babies out. All right, get rid of the bubble wrap. I'm just going to keep doing it like this. I kind of like doing it like this here. I'm not going to use the overhead cam. All right, so next we have Amazing Spider-Man number. And by the way, some of those boxes were destroyed, and I can't believe I did not have any. Well, I found one hairline crack on one book that I went through last week, and that was it so far. So knock on wood, that's it. So we get an 8.0 copy of Amazing Spider-Man. Number 14, the first appearance of the Green Goblin in an 8.0 white pager. Awesome book. Awesome book. We also have, now I guesstimated around 90,000. If you guys want to do the math on this as I go along, take out your GPA, go, calculators and figure out what the actual value of this is. Please do. I did a quick a quick calculation. I came up with 90K, and I didn't even include all the G.I. Joe books or the other books, just this one invoice here. Next, we have an Amazing Spider-Man 129 and a 7.0. Also white pages. What else? All right, here we go. Fun time. Journey into Mystery. Oh, it was a crack. I thought it was a crack. It's not a crack. Journey into Mystery, 83, and a 4.0. Off-white pages. Gorgeous. All right. We've got a giant size X-Men, #1, and a 6.5. And a 6.5 right there. As I look at this book here now, you know, I'm thinking, boy, wouldn't that, this book would probably really take to, you know, lightning, you know, cover lightning. But again, it's such a risk, you know. You lighten this cover and then you send it in, it comes back purple label. Is it worth it? That's why I don't want to propagate it, promote it, because it's just there's too much of an uncertainty. You know, yeah. I think au naturel is the safest way to go, and that's why we kind of don't really do the blue be-led, because there's that risk involved. They even just think the book has been exposed to be-led, be-led therapy, if you want to call it that. They'll ding it down to a conserved grade or to a restored grade, and I just don't think it's in clients' best interest to do that. You know, unless they really want to gamble, I don't think it's in their best interest. Next, we have. Guys, we're not done yet. Let me tell you, lots. Avengers #1, a book I have not been seeing quite as often as I used to. Avengers #1, I would see quite regularly, but for some reason, this one has really, taken a back seat to some of the other keys. I love this book. I love this cover. One of my favorite covers of the early Marvels. Look at that. And a 3.0, not a bad grade either. Looks really good. Looks really, really good. And I think we actually fixed the spine on that. We have the before and after shots. Wow, that's a 3.0. Look at that stain on the back. Look at that stain on the back. And it's a 3.0. See, I think the standards have changed. I think this book would have been like a 2.5 8 years ago, 5 years ago. But now, this is what we're getting for a 3, which is okay. I mean, even my ASM 1, which I got back, I was banking on a 2.5, and it came back a 3. So obviously they've shifted their standards in regards to 2s and 3s. But anyways, look at this one. This is a gray one here. Really nice copy of Daredevil #1 and a 6.5. And a 6.5. Off-white to white, off-white to white. Nothing wrong with that. Beautiful book. Very nice book. Okay. Are you guys calculating this up as we go along? Amazing Spider-Man #1 in a 2.0. And a 2.0. And here it is. See, I'm looking at this one here, and I'm wondering if the book I have in the press right now is going to be a 2.0. I think it's got the other one I have in the press right now is similar to this grade, but it has a tear right along the side there with a dark stain. So I think the one that I have that I'm working on is going to come back a 1.8 for that reason. But this is a solid 2.0 right here. Very nice. This next one's kind of a shame. Let me show you. Fantastic Four #1. Look how nice this book looks. It's a 3 all day long. It's a 3.5 all day long. Unfortunately, missing that piece down there. Now, if that piece was recovered and we could put that piece back on with just tape, with acid-free tape, this book would jump up to like a 1.8, maybe even a 2, probably a 1.8. Big difference on this book, right? Obviously, but still a beautiful copy. It presents wonderful. And if the owner decides to sell this book, whoever's going to buy this book is going to get a great copy, a great display copy, because this front cover is absolutely stunning. A real shame that it's missing that little piece of the back there. third of the book, you know, but nonetheless, FF number 1.5, off-white to white. We're not done yet. I told you. This box is a biggie. X-Men number 1. All the Marvel keys are here. X-Men number 1 in a 5.0 off-white to white pages. Beautiful copy of this book. Very solid copy. I would not have been a bit surprised if this came back a 5.5. A 6, I think, maybe a little too generous, but I think a 5.5 is right for this book. Yeah, gorgeous. Look at that. And you saw we had a Journey into Mystery 83 and a 4.0, or was it 4.5? The 4.0. Well, now we have a Journey into Mystery and a 3.5. So 2 Journey into Mysteries. This one a 3.5. Beautiful. And it just keeps going. It just keeps going. I just sneezed there, guys. Sorry, I muted it for a second. Now, this is the last book in this order, I believe. I believe there's 11 books. Let me just double check. 11 books. We did 10. Here's number 11. Hulk 181, 9.6. White pager. Gorgeous copy. Oh my goodness gracious. Look at this book. Look at this book. I've got some ideas for this book. Now, whether the owner is going to want to do it or not. And I think you can read my mind. Brian Bowman, you read my mind? Do you read my mind? Yeah, this is a gorgeous copy. When we finished pressing this, I was like, holy cow. I said to Charlie, this book is a 9.8 contender. Like, I'm thinking the book's going to come back a 9.4, 9.6 for sure. But the book's a 9.8 contender. I'm looking at this thing and I'm like, wowzers. Solid copy of Hulk 181. This is a book and I'll tell you right up the bat, I'll just tell you, this is a book I would consider resubmitting to CCS again. Again, we pressed it, but I would send it to CCS now and have them press it and try to get me that 9.8. Gonna buy that 9.8, baby, because this book is really quite stunning. It's gorgeous. I'm looking at this. There's nothing wrong with this, but I see some very minor ticks on the side, but there's no color breaking, but they're just very small. Well, there's a couple of color breaking ticks, but even still, the corners are sharp. The colors are beautiful. No rounded corners. The back is stunning on this thing. The back is absolutely stunning on this book, and the color is just beautiful. This video does not give this book just, look, you want to see, like, check this baby out. It's just beautiful. Just gorgeous copy. So, yeah, anyways, beautiful copy. Congrats to the owner. Beautiful book. Now, this order, I'll be honest, I'm pretty, when I set an order like this in, I'm pretty honest about the value, because whatever we put down on the sheet is what CGC insures the book's at. So I put down, I thought pretty accurate. I'm going to tell you, CGC sent me a second bill, because they basically bumped the value on, I think it was 4 or 5 of these books. They increased the value, including that Hulk 181. They doubled. I had to pay double for that. So when I charged the customer, they sent me a bill and it was double what I charged him. And X-Men 1, they bumped. Daredevil, they bumped a bunch of them. So his bill pretty much, it didn't double, but close to it. It was like, ooh. But guys, I say this again, these are big boy books. With big boy books, it's big boy, price tags, unfortunately. But these books were gorgeous. It was a pleasure to work on them. A lot of fun to work on. I'm just glad they're back safe and sound. I'm always like, thank you, Lord, for bringing them back safe and sound. And they are here. And by the time you watch this, they're gone. Their owner has them back. So, yeah, very happy for that as well. Okay, well, that box isn't finished yet, though. Some other beautiful books in that box. We had some nice other Silver Age beautiful books here. Let's have a look. We've got a Wonder Woman number 68 and a 2.0. Really awesome. What cover is that? Who did that? Erwin Hassan and Bernard Sachs cover. Nice. Beautiful. We have a Superboy 89 and a 5.5. Origin and first appearance of Mon-El, second Phantom Zone. We have a Black Hawk. I think these are Josh's books. I think they are. I could be wrong, though. Black Hawk 133 and a 5.5. Got some Archie books coming up, guys. Got some Archie books. We got Green Lantern, number 42. Third appearance of Zatanna in an 8.0. We have a Weird Fantasy 19. Weird Fantasy 19 in a 4.0. We also have Archie's rival, Reggie, number 9. Bill Vigoda art and a 4.0. Don't see a lot of Archies, you know, but they're popular. When I have Archie books at the shop, they do sell, but I don't see a whole ton of Archies coming in to be graded, which is strange. We have an Action Comics 278. Whoops. And that's in a 6.5. It's Perry White there, I guess, becomes like the Man of Steel or something. We have Thor 165. And that's in a 7.5. We have a Journey into Mystery, number 84, and that's at a 6.0. Right there. All right, last two. We have a 7.0 of X-Men 63 and a 7.0. The Triumph of Magneto. And last but not least in this box of awesome Silver Age greatness, Fantastic Four 112, classic Hulk versus Thing issue, and a 7.5. Hard book to get in a high grade because of that black cover. This one here, we get a little bit of a, we cheat because it has that white spine there. So we cheat a little bit on that one. Anyway, 7.5 for that. Some really nice books today, guys. I hope you enjoyed that. My friends, I'll be at the Comic Doctor's office this Saturday from 11 until 2. So if you're in the area, if you're local to Oshawa and the GTA, come on by and say hello. You can bring books by for pressing and cleaning. I do offer free pre-screening. Saturdays, it's kind of hard to do that. If you've got like 5, 10, 15 books, I can certainly pre-screen that many books on a Saturday. So if you have books you want to bring in, come on by, again, between 11 and 2. You're best off to go to my website, thecomicdoctor.com, go to the contact section and hit the button for an appointment and just do pre-screen appointment so I know to expect you. Also, hey, are you long distance and you want to get your books to me? Well, guess what? If you don't live in the Ontario, or if you live in Ontario, you live really far away, if you're not in the GTA and you want to ship your books to me, I'll pay to get your books to me. There's a catch though, guys. You have to have at least a 10 book minimum order with the exclusive press and clean. Which is $30 per book. If you do that, I will pay to have your books shipped to me here in Oshawa. I don't care if you're somewhere in Ontario, if you're in Vancouver, if you're in Halifax, if you're in Quebec, if you're down in California, if you're down in Florida, wherever you may be, New Mexico, whatever. If you want to get your books to the Comic Doctor, I'll pay to get your books to me. And the books can't be already CGC graded. I'm not gonna. They get a little. That's a little too heavy. But if they're raw books and you want to get me to press those for you and then ship them off to CGC, or just get them pressed and returned to you directly, I'll pay to get your books to me. Okay, guys, so go over to my website again, thecomicdoctor.com, fill out a submission form, and once you submit that form, I'll get a copy. If your order meets that criteria, I will give you instructions on how to get your books to me and how to get a shipping label free of charge from me. All right, guys, listen, thanks so much for popping by. I sure hope you liked that batch of books tonight. My gosh, did anybody do the tally? Was I right? Was it around 90K? Let me know in the comment section or in the chat room. Let me know what you think, guys. And I will be back next Tuesday for probably a live CGC unboxing, 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. Hey, if you haven't done so already, hit that subscribe button, please. Hit the like button as well. It does help with my analytics. And I hope to see you again very, very soon, right here on the Comic Doctor YouTube channel. Bye for now.